All right. I think we're live. There were some technical difficulties getting set up here. Just want to make sure people can actually see me here. The quality's pretty poor here. Let's see what's going on. Bear with me, guys. Still new to the whole live thing. All right. Off to a great start, right? Okay. So I've got Restream going, and I've got YouTube on the side. It says the current resolution is 1280. Don't know how to fix that because it's looking good on this side here. Sorry, guys, if you're watching, can you leave a comment to see if the screen quality is pretty good? Good. Okay. Yeah, there's a bit of a discrepancy between using Restream software, which is going to YouTube, and it seems like there's a bit of a delay. So I'm just going to hide YouTube there. And so I can see the comments and like look over at my video. So, all right. So that's good there. I know these live things, I'm still trying to get used to these. Like I'm going to get better at them as the winter goes on, because it's starting to get, cold here in Nova Scotia. And yeah, so that's good. You guys can see and hear me. You're good, clear. That's great. Brad, thank you. Old Bastard Outdoors, that's great. Yeah, so last Tuesday night, I did a interview with Dirtfish Mish, and she was, I could say I've known her now for a year and a half through YouTube and through social media, but we finally had the chance to speak in person virtually, and we got to share kind of our stories and how we kind of got to what we're doing with her in metal detecting, and with me in bottle diving and cleaning up the oceans and lakes. And I had a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun to do the live interview with her. And then I thought I should try that again, and maybe I'll make it more of a recurring thing. I'm not sure about Tuesdays, but for now it seems to just line up that tonight was also a good time to do that. So I just wanted to kind of open it up, see what people were doing. If you guys wanted to come in and ask any questions, I know a lot of you leave comments that I really look forward to reading on my videos. And just wanted to kind of talk about some experiences I had tonight and some things I found. I've got some bottles right in front of me that I'll show you guys a bit later. I did want to share some stories with you guys about videos that I've filmed that I have not shared at all because I never found anything. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Recently, I went out and looked for a guy's wallet in a lake, and I was given the exact area where it was, and it was just a bust. I couldn't find it. So there was that, and then there was a phone that was in another lake that was just too deep, and I couldn't. It was just way too big of an area to search for, and I couldn't find that one. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of share those stories, those disappointments. I mean, it's still good to get in the water and still good to exercise, but I've done so many videos now that will never see the light of day because I never found anything, and it's not really worth sharing something, I don't know, that I've failed recovery video, but I thought it'd be something I'd say on a live stream. And yeah, Old Bastard Outdoors. Okay, so curious if you ever see much marine life. Seals, maybe. I've never seen seals underwater. I've seen them on land, on rocks when I've been diving in the foreground, and in the background. And I've seen lots of starfish, red sculpin fish, which are these big red fish. If you Google them, you can see what they look like. I've seen salmon in lakes, trout, bass, like that. No sharks. Lots of lobsters. I never touched the lobsters because I'm never going to mess with lobsters and lobster fishermen. I know I don't want to get shot when I come out. So I just leave those guys to be. Lots of crabs. There's lots of different types of crabs I've learned. Um, and yeah, so I've seen a lot of sea life, but no seals yet. I'm not even sure how I would react to that, but anyway, we'll see. Maybe now that you said it, it's going to happen. So Brad here is just saying, just got back from the Great Barrier Reef trip, now back at work. Oh my goodness, wow, Brad. But only 3 days till the weekend, and I will get back into that water for sure. Oh man, that's awesome, Brad. The Great Barrier Reef, that would be such a cool place to go diving. I can only imagine the beauty there. That would be on underwater. Yeah, that's really cool. What's the temperatures, Brad? If you want to leave a comment, what's the temperatures right now down in the Great Barrier Reef? I'm sure it's a lot warmer than the Northern Atlantic right now. But yeah, sorry guys, I'm still trying to I'm like talking, and I'm trying to respond to comments, and I'm trying to get good at this YouTube thing, this YouTube live thing, and I'm sure over time I'll improve. So thanks for sticking with me at minute 7. If you're one of the 6 viewers that I have, I really love that. I really appreciate that. Hopefully some more people will join as time goes on, but if not, I'm happy just to kind of talk and share kind of things I've been doing. So I will share a cool little bottle that I found. This was found in Chester, Nova Scotia, after work on Friday. And it says Opalika trademark J.H. Pullen proprietor, which was, as I've learned, a patent medicine in Nova Scotia. And it was usually bottles that had like raised lettering or an embossed logo were a nod to the local druggist, as I've learned. So who can only imagine what kind of concoction was in these things? Yeah, that was a really cool bottle, and just by total chance that I found it, and I was fanning a random section of the ground, and I went down, and the bottle was kind of like this. I reached down and grab it, and it's in one of my latest videos. You can see me finding it. Total chance. So that's why I say anything could be anywhere. As Bondi Treasure Hunter, one of my favorite YouTubers, says. So just got to go look. Zach Bartlett, what's your favorite spot to look for stuff or just dive? Hey, Zach, thanks for the question. One of my favorite spots is Norris Cove in the Halifax Harbor. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Halifax Harbor, but there's the 2 bridges and the McKay and the McDonald. It's right by the McKay near Shannon Park. It was this old cove that used to have a rail line that connected through it to the old, before the bridges were built a long time ago. It used to be a fishing village there. Now it's long since abandoned. And there's this little cove that you can get into at low tide. And every time I'm there, there's trash to clean out and there's bottles to be found. I've been there 15 times, and every time I go there, it's like a new landscape. So yeah, that's one of my favorite places. Ian, ever find 1800s applied top bottle? I did. So I've got this beautiful John Nash, Halifax, Nova Scotia soda water bottle that I found in Prospect, Nova Scotia last year. No, I found 2 in Prospect. I've got this one here, and I'll just grab its brother or sister here. This one has no writing on it. I found that one in Prospect, and I found the one with the writing on it in Ketch Harbor, Nova Scotia. Back before, when I was bottle diving, when I didn't even know what I was looking at. So I sent the bottle off to my dad and to diver Bob Chalk, who's like a very experienced scuba diver. And he let me know the history about this. This is one of my most treasured bottles. And it's just so much imperfections in the glass and the applied top. That's one of my favorite bottles of all time. I have it behind my windowsill in my kitchen, so my kids or my cats and dogs can't get to it and they can't knock it over. So it's made its trek down to the basement for this. And so that's one of my favorite bottles that I've ever found. And it was cool to find, Ian, the other one, like another one without any writing. So I kind of wondered, maybe it had a paper label on it. I'm not entirely sure. Not sure what they did with these bottles back then. I'm still learning a lot about them, and yeah. So that was a really cool, yeah, really cool find. I've only had 2 of those, and there's a couple other ones I want to share tonight as the night goes on. But yeah. So what else? What are people saying here? We've got Brad. We'll do a video soon. Lady Elliot Island, 26 degrees. Whew, that is warm. Ian, that's an early. Remember the video. Oh, cool. Old Bastard Outdoors. How do you ever decide where to explore? That's a great question, and I'm still trying to figure it out to this day. I at first I use my phone a lot, and I look up places. Sorry, just sending a message here. I look up places online, Google Maps, and I just kind of like scout areas that I think would be interesting. And it's more about like the stuff that the coolest stuff that I found. Sorry, I'm tongue tied. That I've gone to that I've expected nothing to be found is where I found the most interesting things. So I really last year I was going to a lot of more public access spots, and I still do. I don't cross private land unless I'm invited to go on. But I take my kayak in, and I've gone exploring to places, and I just kind of like look around and think this might be an interesting place. It's really just I've knocked a lot of lakes and parts of the ocean off my list because there's just a lot of things that a lot of places that there's been nothing to be found. And so I've been on 15 or 20 of those now, and I just kind of knock them off one by one. But I'm still, sometimes I just kind of go with my gut. Like sometimes I just look at a couple places, and I just kind of, I don't know, get a feeling and be like, maybe I'll go to Prospect today, or I'll go to Ketch Harbor, kind of look at the tides, kind of look at and see if, has stuff changed in the last couple months? Do you think that the ocean floor has changed? Try not to frequent the same place too often, with the exception of Norris Cove, which I talked about earlier. Sorry for the long-winded answer, but yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot of things that I think about when I look at a place to go. Do you take tips on where to look? I do. I've purposely asked people on social media, and I know some people might be protective over spots. I never, I always make sure to do it the right way. And I just, I want to do things properly, and I don't want to, do anything wrong. But yeah, a lot of people send me messages on places to go look around the Maritimes. And so I've slowly started asking or going around to those places and checking them out. I'm always open to tips. I can't always get to them because I work full time. I'm a dad. And, I can only go in the evenings or the weekends. So it's really hard to, make time to do this. Brad's saying a bunch of stuff that he's found, plenty of rubbish, mainly fishing line, heaps of fishing lures. I don't find too many bottles, mainly aluminum cans. Okay. And my daughter, Zoe, sent a question to me. Probably she's upstairs. What is the oldest thing you found? Sorry. Oops, sorry if you've already answered this. Oh, okay. So I would say the oldest thing that I found, not planned, would be this J. Bourne & Co. Bottle right here that I found in my lake, in Lake Thomas. And I found this on the shoreline. It's a stoneware bottle. There's just like a bit of a logo stamped on it. You can kind of see, I'm trying to shine the light on it there. I haven't exactly dated how old this one was, but I'm pretty sure it's the oldest bottle I have. So that's that. I think people, okay. Ian, do you ever mudlark at low tide? I've done it a couple times. I used to beachcomb as a kid at camp and with my parents and pick up sea glass, and I do like doing that. In Nova Scotia, I'm not really sure. I don't know. Now that I've found whole bottles, I would say I'm spoiled now. Now that I find whole, yeah. Now that I'm finding whole bottles, when I find shards, I'm just kind of like, I know I could find the full bottle of this, but I know there's a lot of really cool mudlarkers online, especially in the UK, that are finding like amazing like onion bottles or clay pipes and with long stems, and that would be that would be a lot of fun someday to join and do something like that. So yeah, I'll go anywhere. And as winter rolls up and I'm in the water less, I'm going to do more stuff like live videos, or maybe shoot some videos specifically about, certain bottles, kind of like this hutch that I found in a lake, WH Donovan, Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's got a bit of a crack on the bottom, but because it was in a lake for so long, it's almost as clear as the day it was made. Plus it still has the stopper. So I would like to do maybe a more professional video with my DSLR equipment about kind of the history of the bottle, and maybe go into Halifax and do some research and kind of show where this bottle would have come from, stuff like that. Thanks, Brad. Yeah, that's an awesome bottle, eh? What is the average depth you're snorkeling at? So that varies. I would say probably 10 to 12 feet when I'm diving down, looking for stuff. I can hold my breath for a while. Kind of changes as the water gets colder. But I do a lot of scanning. I just do as much as I can with the with what I'm available. Like most of if you've been following along, I injured my ear in a scuba diving kind of accident, and I've lost hearing in my right ear, and I've developed tinnitus, which I'm adjusted to. But that was a pretty defeating part of my life back in February, and I thought, I didn't want to get me down, so I've continued snorkeling and free diving, and kind of like slowly just being careful as I go down, descending, but only going to a certain depth. So who knows? My ENT said it's a 50-50 shot that I could do this, go scuba diving, and nothing would happen, but I could lose my hearing, and it's not worth it to do that. So snorkeling for now, maybe getting a device like Nemo or Nomad that can allow me to be at a depth of 9-10 feet, so I can just stay down and look for things, or pick up trash easier, versus like duck diving, holding my breath and over and over and over. So yeah, that's kind of the average, depth that I would go down to, or the max depth, I should say, not average. So Zach, my great grandmother used to live in Lower Prospect, and she told me how there were all kinds of odd things that would wash ashore. Lots of history. Yeah, Lower Prospect is an amazing place. It's a beautiful place to go explore, to walk in. There's hiking trails all over, and all the oldest things I've ever found have come from Prospect. All the clay pipes I've ever found, I've sent off a few pictures of them to the museum to see if there was any interest, to see if, and that's been a really cool place to explore. And the locals there, whenever I come out, are always so kind, and I really like Prospect. So love the number. Brad's saying, love the number of plates you find. I have a few I found just to thrill the unexpected. That's so it. It's yeah, just, you guys know, if you're looking for something and you see a bottle on the ocean floor and your heart kind of stops for a second, and you go down and you pick it up, it's an amazing thing. So that thrill never gets old. Pace Diver saying, hey, have you just learned snorkeling on your own, or have you taken a freediving course? So I haven't taken a freediving course. I've been snorkeling since I was 12 years old, maybe earlier. So I've learned to do this a long time ago, and I've just kind of gotten better and better at it as I've gotten older, and kind of learned some tips. But yeah. Brad, tinnitus is a bugger I have, and it sounds like a bunch of cicadas have crawled in my ears and won't stop buzzing, but I've learned to live with it. Yeah, Brad, I hear you, man. I hear you, brother. I have, mine's the same. Mine's like a tea kettle whistle that's always on. Sometimes it's pretty low and sometimes it's pretty loud, so it just depends. But I've adjusted to it, and it's kind of become part of who I am. So maybe a gear preview someday. Tips, hints, and suggestions. That's actually that's a great idea. I've never even thought of that. Most of the gear I have is kind of like Frankenstein put together. I have started accumulating some nicer gear over the last year, and some brands like Torpedo Rays and Dartmouth gifted me a 7mm wetsuit last winter, because I was diving in like 3 mil up until like December 15th or something. So I was foolish back then and so cold. And now I'm in a nice warm 7 mil suit, and I really like it. So, okay. So I'm going to do a new part. I wanted to do this part of this interview. My wife, Ruth, is actually going to join me because Ruth has been an instrumental part of my diving journey. My wife's best friend. She's made it possible for me to go on as many dives as I can. We have children and a house to maintain, and she is just so supportive of me. And I've invited her to come in, and kind of just sit down with me for a bit, and thought we could talk and do some chatting together. Hey. Our dogs might try to come in too, but I just figured the story wouldn't be complete. I wouldn't be able to do the diving without her. So we're just going to get her set up here. And say hi to Ruth. She is got a whole bunch of people who are leaving comments right now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So this is Ruth, and she has made it possible for me to dive as much as I can. The captain, old bastard outdoor says. Yeah, that's right.
I'm the captain?
You're the captain.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, but I don't know. Let's, from your perspective, you see me going on all these dives, these videos. I share with you all these things that I find. Aside from making sure I come back alive.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Okay. Oh, bye, Ian.
Oh, Ian, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it.
Oh, and hi, Stories Lost and Found.
They're one of the best accounts for sure.
Cool. Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, everyone, mic levels are good, and I'm told they're good. Yep.
So, first of all, whenever you go out on a dive, I do get a little bit nervous because because I am afraid that something will happen. And old bastard outdoors, you're welcome. Because a lot of the time, you go alone. And so that definitely is a thing that's on my mind. And if you don't get back to me right away, when you're supposed to be done and you don't get back to me, I'll get nervous. But I also am starting to get more used to that because I know that you can get caught up in it. So that if there was some kind of device on that allowed me to
a tracking
device that also monitored your heart.
Well, that's what they do with the astronauts on the moon.
So I'd like to get some of that technology. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. So have you ever had an interest in in treasure hunting yourself? Or not even treasure, it's not the right term, but especially in Nova Scotia.
That's a dangerous term.
But bottle diving.
Bottle diving?
Diving, looking for stuff, does that interest you?
Okay, when I was a kid, actually, I was really into it. My dad actually used to take us out to this abandoned house that belonged to one of our great aunts. And it was left completely, it was left it was as if the people that lived there left, and everything else was just the cups in the kitchen were there. The clothes were still in their closets. Everything was just left as is, as if they were meaning to come home later that day. And that was fascinating. We used to love going through that and pick up different things. And so I love that. So I can definitely, when I get caught up in a lot of what happens in the day-to-day at our house, but I can kind of draw on that experience to understand that thrill that you have when it comes to underwater stuff.
Yeah,
it terrifies me.
And when I come home and I have usually it's like I have something I can't wait to show you. I'm so excited.
Yes.
And you're getting excited about the stuff that I find now too, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I come home with boxes of garbage.
I find that so attractive, honestly.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. No, when you come home and you've cleaned up, you're cleaning up the ocean. I find that really attractive. So
good to know. Good to know, viewers. Good to know. So Brad's saying, the boss of finance, welcome to our crazy world. Yeah, great that you have support from my wife, lady. The support from wife, lady. My wife hates my hobby and thinks I'm a weirdo.
Oh no.
Well, I don't think you're a weirdo, Brad. I think it's cool, and you're doing a good thing by cleaning up the ocean. So,
oh my goodness, yeah.
yeah, Brad. I chased
lead.
Yeah, we need people plus we clean the water. That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's a lot more than the hunt. It's taking care of our planet.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
The shouldn't have a bottle limit. No.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if you have one for yourself.
No,
but...
I don't. I have been cleaning out as I've learned more about bottles over the last 6 months, especially. Like I've started all the ones that I thought were interesting a year ago, like all these pop bottles, and like, oh, a Pepsi, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, they're a dime a dozen. So I take them and recycle them. But anything now that's we've got our dog who wants to come in on the live stream. He's barking at our feet here. So come on up. Come on up. All right. That's our dog, Picard. So he wanted to be part of the live stream. But
yeah, a lot of bottles do go out on recycling day. Yeah. That's all Sean's call. Yeah. And
I've taken some to the bottle depot to get some money, but eventually just like I don't really care. Like it's like $3.
Yeah.
Just too much effort for me to drive it. I'd rather just recycle it, put it into our driveway on recycling day, and out it goes. And it's pretty satisfying. I mean, if I bagged up all the bottles I've ever found in the last year and a half, it would be a crazy amount of stuff. So, yeah. Bottle limit right now, like, no, I would say I've definitely become more picky about the bottles I keep.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, you know, the ones that I'll show it again because I love it so much. Bottles like this one, which I just found my second one of, a Felix J. Quinn. It's in beautiful condition. It's even got some coral in the back, which I think I might leave. It kind of adds some character, and you know, stuff like that I'll hold on to. But everything else, it can be recycled. So
Brad's saying hi to Picard. He says hi. And
if you can see his face is so dark.
He has a dark face there. Whoa, whoa. There we go.
Yeah.
Hello. Manning the ship, you know.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I've taken you on some snorkeling adventures, kind of try to teach you the ropes.
Yeah.
Our kids have an interest in what I do a little bit. In the summer, I gave them a mask, and I put a few bottles right in the lake that they could look for, within shore, not in a way that I was littering, but in a way that they could go look for it. And our youngest son wanted to be like me and find a bottle on camera, so that was pretty cool. That's what I like about the channel too, is this other education aspect. If people get interested in the water and realize that they can do what I'm doing, like anyone can do it, snorkeling, right? Just got to be a good swimmer and kind of keep your wits about you. But I think it's just a really good thing here. Come on, we've got another dog here, Boba, that wants to come up. The whole family, our dogs just can't handle not being the center of attention. So there's Boba right there. But yeah, that's one thing I love about this as well. I hope that people take away from it is that it is really important to take care of the water, lakes or oceans, and land as well. And there's some great organizations in Halifax and around the globe that are doing things like that. It just kind of, and also shows how big of a problem this is, that there takes so many organizations to deal with all this trash. I just like to be one little part of the solution.
Yeah, I think that it's really cool that you offer a lot of inspiration as far as that goes too. Your videos allow people to see what's under there, so then hopefully it will, you know, have some people think twice before they litter, and other people just be more mindful of even what you walk along, like what you come across when you're walking on the beach, you know, like to just pick up what you see and just clean up a little.
Do you ever consider selling your bottles? No, I don't. And I say that because back in June. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing, but someone, I think on TikTok, told the archaeological government, or not government, like people in the
Like an
government,
archaeologist. I don't know.
that I was selling bottles and I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then they contacted me and they were wondering what I was doing. I guess I was on their radar. And yeah, I don't sell bottles. I guess I've learned that maybe technically it's illegal to sell things you find on land or in water. I don't know the full rules around it, but anyway, it's just
so
best.
vague.
It's just best not to mess with it.
Yeah.
And you know, I've become friends with people in those worlds, because it's good to, you know, to just make those good, positive connections. And anything that I've ever found that I think would be of interest to the museum or of archaeological significance, I'll send pictures of it to them, and that's about it. But no, I have, like, I don't sell. I don't do it for the money. I'm not doing this to sell bottles.
No,
but that's why I'm trying to make
it. Yeah. Okay. Can I say something?
Well, I was going to say that's why I'm making the YouTube. I'm trying to make money off YouTube to monetize this. Yeah. So I'm trying to make. So that's the goal. I'm trying to get to a certain amount of watch time, so YouTube will allow me to monetize my channel, which will allow me to keep this going.
Yeah.
Because you know, I'm self-funding it basically, all these dives.
Yeah.
And to have a little bit of money to cover gear would be great. I just set up a Patreon account this week. I'm still learning about Patreon. I don't know. I feel weird if people gave me money for stuff. So I'm trying to just do the YouTube way, where they'll give me money, and then you guys can just enjoy it. Although with ads, so that's not good. But yeah. Do you ever? I will watch for the gear review video. Would love to try this in 2022. Yeah, I'll have to like take a video, do a video some night in my garage of the mask I bought. Because I get a lot of questions on what do I use, the gear bag, the mesh bag that I use, where did I get it all? So I could do a short little video about all that stuff and where to buy it, and I'd be happy to do that. Brad recycles as much as he can, as well as recycling. You can make a little bit of a coin for new gear. I've been cashing in, buying silver bars, turning trash into treasure. That's awesome. That's great, Brad. Yeah, I just, with Nova Scotia, just with some rules around fines. There's a Treasure Act in place. I think it's for the guys at Oak Island who have really not found too much yet. But
yeah, I haven't had a lot of luck.
But there's rules in place. I don't know the full logistics of all of them, but yeah, can't understand people like that. I think they're short of a few kangaroos in the top paddock. I don't even know what that means.
Never heard that.
I don't even know. Is that an Australian thing?
Okay, I was under the Pace Diver says, I was under the impression that as long as it's not off a wreck or site, that it's basically junk.
I thought.
Yes.
I heard that as well.
That's kind of what, I'm sorry. I feel a little passionate about this because you've been working really hard. The whole family's been working hard to help make this happen. And you're, I mean, I know you, so I know that you're like a really like decent human being. And so then when there are people that give you a hard time over things like this, it's just kind of like, come on, like, don't you have something a little bit more useful to do with your time?
Yeah, I can understand it from, wanting to protect archaeological sites for sure. Like,
yes, absolutely. But
what's that the problem that I know what you're frustrated about is that things that are defined as sites, Pace Diver, is that everything could be an archaeological site, as I've been told directly from them. Yeah. And so that means that it's like anywhere could be something. Like I've been told, maybe you should leave something there. If depending on the type of artifact it is, what's garbage, what's not, how do you know? And because I have the environmental side of what I do, I'm bringing up as much as I can. So sometimes they just happen to be old bottles, right? And so a lot of stuff mixed in with the treasures and the trash. So yeah, I'm not a scuba diver, so I've only ever been to one wreck that I got to see from above as a snorkeler in the harbor, which was really cool. But as far as removing stuff, from it or that. It's anyway, I know. I feel you. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know how clear the rules are. So,
Yeah, they're pretty hazy.
but
And
it's
old.
best not to make enemies with anyone, and just try to, work. Just keep doing what you're doing, and try to be the best you can. And I don't know, trying to be diplomatic, right? No need to comment. Congrats on the 8. So Down Under Dan Diving is good day from Sydney. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. It's probably
Confused.
probably
Morning.
probably morning there now. It's our evening. It's in Sydney. The 2 Japan subs sitting at the bottom of the harbor are protected to dive on, but they're at 80 meters, so not a big problem. Right.
Sorry, when I said hey, it confused Boba. She thought that perhaps somebody was.
Oh, we've got a little guard dog here.
The smallest dog is the most protective, of course.
Right. I wonder if Rex, I think Rex, I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think a lot of Rex all around the world are probably protected to some degree. Probably for gold.
Oh, it's lunchtime there.
Lunchtime.
Happy lunchtime.
Happy lunchtime. Yeah. What about lead from people fishing? That would not be classed as historical stuff for sure. Like, yeah, what's the definition of historical? I don't know.
We've had a lot of philosophical discussions on this because it's
a bottle 200 years ago would be trash, right? It was thrown out and discarded, just like people throw out plastic today. So in 200 years, are our plastic bottles going to be artifacts or garbage, right?
I know. So it's like, when do you cross that line? And like those bottles that you're finding now were trash
at the time.
At that time,
because they were thrown in the ocean.
They were thrown in the ocean.
Yeah. So anyway,
so
that's that. I don't want to talk too much more about that because it's not like it just kind of depresses me. But
I know, and I get all fired up about it. I'll try not to.
Yeah.
Probably something to do with items being removed from government-owned land, perhaps.
That's very possible. Yeah. Once your YouTube monetized, you should get a lawyer
to look into it to explain the rules.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. The government land, I think, owns most of the land in Nova Scotia. So I assume they have rules or bylaws in place to protect things found, like artifacts, like maybe Aboriginal arrowheads, or maybe stuff that would tell us about the history of the people who live there. I'm not an archaeologist, right?
No, and I do want to just say the archaeologist that you dealt with sounded like a really kind, like really reasonable, kind person. So just put that out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been super kind to me and just kind of explained things. So.
And he's been a great resource. Like he said that you could always go to him. So that's been good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But so we don't get shot down. We definitely don't want to get shot down. And historical equals when all the family members are dead.
Yeah. Well, and there's other things I do too, right? Like, not just to say, of course I found bottles while diving, but I've also been recovering things for people, like phones and mostly phones.
Mostly phones.
I did, I was looking for some sunglasses, GoPros.
Flying drone.
Oh, a drone. I recovered a drone from a waterfall. So that kind of stuff I really like too. And it's very different. I have to worry about that. And I enjoyed doing that.
Okay. Oh, how long can you hold your breath? Over a minute.
Yeah, about a minute. Yeah, underwater now. Any tips on holding your breath training? Slowing your mind down, I would say, is number one for me. I'm only speaking to my experience. But for me, just kind of slowing everything down, kind of centering myself, not trying to move too much. I mean, when I'm diving down and I'm kind of equalizing and I'm going down to look for something, most times I'm on a mission to grab something and head back up. So I'm not really I don't really care too much about holding my breath too long. But
I think I would guess that when you're doing that, like you're exercising, exerting yourself underwater while holding your breath, that probably helps strengthen your lungs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's a good question.
Have fun at work, Dan.
Thanks, Dan, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going good. Lots of comments. I didn't expect this many. This is great. Lost a brand new GoPro at the cottage kayaking if you're ever bored.
Oh, dang.
Oh man. Yeah, GoPros. That's another thing to, a lot of scuba divers have underwater metal detectors and they can
Yeah.
find stuff that way. Whereas I'm snorkeling and diving down. So I don't really have a lot of time to go down with a metal detector and go beep, beep, beep. And then I'd have to head back up. So
We got to get you that Nemo device.
that would be cool for next summer, definitely, to have something like that.
So if we get this YouTube channel monetized, we could maybe put some of that towards save up and buy a Nemo.
Absolutely. And and the main thing with all of this is to kind of encompass everything that we're talking about, is that my main focus is really, cleaning up as much as I can, much trash from the ocean as I can. Sure, yeah, I find old items and I recover phones, and that is fun. And I would do this even if I wasn't filming it and sharing it. But I'm really just trying to inspire people to get back in the water and to kind of just tap into that part of themselves to, spend time in the water, right? We're like, and to clean up things while they're at it. And I think everyone, should at least try this at once, because I found it. I mean, started it seriously a year and a half ago, and it's been a game changer in my life. Like, I don't know what I would do without being able to go get in the water a couple times a week or, once a week. It's just one of the best things I've ever done. And being able to share it now online is something I never even would have thought of.
I know. Yeah. Well, and I think that you said this maybe in an interview or two, but like Sean started diving and he wasn't making videos of it. Like, not when you first started. It wasn't until our friend Matt Buston suggested that you that you do that, and you're like, oh, I guess I'll do that.
And then I started, people would watch it, and I would, if I'm, getting trash, if I'm going over trash and people are seeing it, I better take it. So yeah, get an emo for sure. I can get 1.45 hours now by slowing down my breath. Wow, that's awesome, Brad. Yeah, that would definitely be something for me that would be really nice to have to continue my work. Yeah. Well, we're at minute 43. I didn't really have a set time for all of this. It is. Was
there anything that I can specifically answer? Like, was there any questions that people wanted to ask the wife of Saltwater Sean?
Your name is Ruth.
Oh, right. I forgot. Maybe it's fine if you don't. I just wanted to kind of put the opportunity out there.
Yeah.
I have to go, but thank you for all that you do. Appreciate your videos and love following. From Obo and from Sackville, keep up the awesome work.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this and taking your time out of your day to do this. It means a lot. So yeah, thanks again. I mean, I wanted to do kind of a shorter live tonight. Let's see if anyone pops any question.
Yeah.
Bad saying I go batty and get a bit cranky if I go for a dive and see. Yeah, I can relate to that. Oh, thank you, Pace Diver. I appreciate that. I think you're going about this the right way. Keep it up. The good work.
That's really nice.
And it's like I wouldn't call myself a treasure hunter. Like, there's guys, I'm sure there's people out there who specifically go and look for gold off wrecks or take stuff that they shouldn't. And that's not what I'm interested in. Is not what I want to do. I want to, play by the book and be helpful and educate people. And, again, like I said, if I find stuff that I think could be interesting to the museum that they would want, I'll happily show it to them or give it to them.
I know. Well, that's one of your, you've talked about that being one of your dreams, something that you find.
Well, yeah, having something in a museum. It belongs in a museum.
This belongs in a museum,
as Indiana Jones would say. But yeah, this is basically it, guys. I think I might gonna sign off after minute 45. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watched so far and has stayed for the whole time. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are. It's my sign off. And I was super happy to introduce Ruth. She's been in a couple videos in the past, but yeah, she is the brains of the operation, and she makes it possible for me to do this. So I just that's why I wanted to bring her here and acknowledge her. So thank you, guys. Oh, one last question. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? I'll answer this quickly. DalMD is one. Dirtfish Mish is another. Basically, anyone who scuba dives or snorkels, and most of them are commenting on this channel. Brad, Down Under Diving, Pace Diver. Anyone who goes underwater looking for stuff, I really enjoy. I love all people who are looking for stuff and sharing their journeys. But yeah, those are some of the top ones. Yeah, I really like, and was it Northern Mud Pies? They're another one too.
Oh
So,
yeah, I remember them too. Yeah, they're funny.
yeah. So I think I got their name right. Yeah. So those are some of my favorite YouTubers, and yeah.
Thank you, Sean and Ruth. Happy wife, happy life.
That is true. That is true. No, thank you guys, and yeah, exactly. I don't call myself a treasure hunter at all. Brad's saying I just like looking for stuff, and if it happens, I find it. So be it. Yeah. So no, that's exactly it, right? And we're all in this together, and we're all doing our part and sharing our hobbies together, and that's really cool. So, okay, guys. Well, thanks again. I'm going to sign off now. I really appreciate it. Feel free to leave some comments after, maybe some questions you had, and I'll see if I can get to them. But thanks for being part of this. And I hope I'll sign off again. Have a good day or night wherever you are.
And thank you for letting me be here and all the nice things that all of you have been saying.
Awesome. All right. See you guys.